uneven muffins, I must say. Look at that one. That one, yeah. But they mine doesn't matter. They might have accidentally made cupcakes instead of muffins, but yeah, I knew that when I saw Gucci Dovi Tambegajan. But this is how they look, and yeah, we're happy here. Let me have my coffee. Welcome back to my channel. Igama ngu AsandaNtini, and welcome back to my channel. As you just saw, I baked muffins for myself because I like muffins, and I have a muffins and scones business that I have, so do check that out. I'll link the thingy, and just subscribe to follow the page, even if you're not from South Coast or Durban. It would be nice to have more followers on the page. Anyways, be that as it may, let us speak about today's topic. Why I feel it is very important to be an admitted legal practitioner, whether you're admitted as an attorney or as an advocate. But obviously, I'm going to be coming from a perspective of an admitted attorney. But this should apply to either the attorney or an advocate. Why I think both the admission process is valuable. So why are we being admitted? You are being admitted in order for you to have a right to practice, or to call yourself basically an attorney or an advocate. If you are calling people attorneys and advocates by merely being admitted, obtaining the degree, they're not really any of those two, but they hold obviously the degree that is a requirement for you to be an attorney or an advocate. But the next step would be being admitted, and I think the sole reason why you should be admitted is for you to be able to decide whether you want to practice law or not. If you are not admitted, you only have one choice: to practice or not to practice law. And you could obviously practice law through being a prosecutor, as you are able to be a prosecutor a public prosecutor, go through the program that they have, the aspirant prosecutor program, which allows you to even become at some point a state advocate, which is only done through the program of the NPA. Not only, I don't know whether it's only, but all of this is done through programs of the NPA. So your whole life will be through prosecuting crime, whether it's commercial crime or like crime like your money thingy, your money launderings are those commercial crimes. If you are prosecuting crimes of people just stealing from a shop and running away, theft, breaking in, so you can be that without being admitted. You don't need to be admitted in order to be an advocate. I mean, not an advocate, but a prosecutor. But I feel that So you have that as an option. You can be a mediator. There are mediation programs. There's so many things outside of being admitted, but admission gives you an opportunity to get into those things by virtue of being admitted. I can apply to be a prosecutor. I don't have to go back and do the aspirant prosecutor program because I am an admitted attorney, and also I have experience in both in criminal and civil law. That's my individual experience, but I can apply for that, but I can't go and open a law firm where I'm practicing law legally. People do that illegally. That's a different story, but legally I can't go and open a firm that's recognized by the LPC, that's registered properly but with the LPC as a law firm. I could have consultings, all of those things, consulting boutiques, whatever those companies are called. I could also be all of those things, but I cannot be somebody who's executing mandates on behalf of clients in open public courts as a private attorney if I'm not an admitted attorney. So that's what it offers you. It offers you that opportunity, and it offers you to then change your mind and say, I actually want to experience working in a company and advising people within the company, and you work in-house. You have that option. Most of companies, like I'll try and get snippets of posts that I'm seeing of in-house people. They all require you to be an admitted attorney. Even small roles of being a debt collector, one of the requirements required to be admitted as an attorney. So you limit your scope of trying to get a piece of the pie, if I may call it that way, if you are not admitted. So yes, it gives you the power of choice. Experience that you get once you're admitted. As I've said, I, for example, was in a firm that does general litigation, both in private and public law. So I had experience of criminal law. I had experience of criminal procedure and civil procedure. I had experience of practicing of labor law. I have experience of civil family law. All of those experiences, because I experienced them as a candidate attorney, and I got an opportunity to see how all of it works, besides coming from a perspective of Uguti. I just want to be an attorney. I just want to be advising. An advisor can basically just tell people how things are done, read those things and tell people how it's done, how it works, without really having the necessary practical experience, of which I feel that if you don't have the practical experience, it's very difficult. You are advising from a place of, I couldn't say limited knowledge, because okay, I'm advising you, this is how this thing works. If a client thereafter asks, how does this thing turn out in court? Yes, you may know of how it is, but because these things are written, how does a litigation process work? You could have that, but if you have the practical experience, you are able to tell the client, actually, this is how it works, and I've done it when back in I've done a divorce, or I've done this, and this is how it works. So you give yourself that advantage. Even when applying for jobs, you give yourself that advantage, and it also gives you an opportunity to decide what exactly do you want. To be in-house, as being in-house and in practice. I've been in-house for a little over a year now, like different places. Obviously, I worked 6 months in an entertainment company, and then I'm now in 6 months in legal insurance. So I understand both sides, and I also have 2 years in a law firm. So I understand both perspectives of how does it look being in a legal profession. And then I've made a decision for myself with which side do I want to go to. When you don't have the experience of both sides, you are basically going to be making your decision solely based on what you hear other people say. You've not experienced it yourself. So if you get an opportunity of doing articles after having done your degree, take it. And as much as sometimes it's tedious, sometimes it's long, but it's a great learning opportunity. Not just learning the work, but also learning about yourself, learning about your strengths, learning about what exactly do you want out of this whole profession. And when you go in-house, it also gives you that routine. What exactly am I? And what exactly am I not? See? And then final thing about articles. What do I recommend? I always get this question on my DMs. Do I recommend one getting into a big firm, or small firm, or a medium firm? This is my thinking. If it is possible, get into a firm that does general litigation. And most of the time, it's only law firms that are small that do general litigations. If you are in a big firm, ask about their rotations. Is it possible that in your, say 2 years, and they maybe do 4 rotations, or in 2 years they do 6 rotations, so 3 months each area, each department. If you can get that opportunity, you get a chance to experience different types of law, and different ways on which things are done. Labor law, in as much as it's civil procedure, is a very different procedure, and the timelines, everything is so different than say for example, doing a divorce. That's very different. It's also very different from doing a personal injury claim. It's also very different from doing a motor vehicle collision matter. So if you have all of those, if you get an opportunity to be faced with all of those matters and be in a firm that does all of those things, I'd say the first option that I would go for, if ever I were to ever decide, go see where do I take my articles, I'll take it in a firm that does everything, so that you know, because you're just coming out of varsity. You've just come out of varsity. Maybe you are passionate about employment law. I was very much passionate about employment law to an extent that I applied for a master's in labor law. And my research was also like, I applied for labor law, and then I applied for masters in research, and both of the masters were solely based on labor law. I'm still very much passionate about labor and employment law, but I also understand it even more now. We'll see, how does it actually work now that I have the experience of it in practice. And also, lucky for me, both my in-house opportunities gave me a chance to see and embody my passion of labor law. So it's very important, and I think it's my advice therefore is that get into a firm that you can do as many types and different types of laws, so that you are not boxed into one thing when you are admitted. You are not boxed maybe in mergers and acquisitions once you are admitted, because you solely did that. But if you did all of these other things and then you're like, okay, I'd actually like to do mergers and acquisitions because I enjoyed it so much. See, you are now having an opportunity to decide what you want post-admission. Because post-admission, even the posts themselves that are advertised for post-admissions, they expect you to now be not an expert, but they expect you to know, this is what you're doing. If they're advertising a family law position, you have to be somebody who knows family law, who has experienced family law, and who has done it. You are not here to be starting to learn, how exactly do you institute proceedings at divorce? How do you interdict certain things in divorces? How do you put certain prayers in the divorce summons? Whatever it is that you can't be taught that now. Also admitted, you have to now. Obviously, you develop, you learn every day as a lawyer because things change every day. But once you admit it, it's no longer a place where you're going to be taught, Uguti, this is how things are done. You obviously learn different things as time goes, because we learn every day, we learn in every way. But at that time, you are now a different person. You are now somebody who's going to be doing things differently. I hope I'm making sense. I'm rambling a lot, but I hope I'm making sense. And I hope I answer the question of which firm do I prefer. I prefer a firm that does everything when you are doing articles, because you get to decide what do you want. You get to decide, do I like criminal law? Because a lot of people watched a lot of Steve Harvey. Why am I saying Steve Harvey? Harvey Specter. And he was doing a lot of mergers and acquisitions. A lot of people watched Annalise. She was doing a lot of criminal law. So maybe you wanted to be a criminal law attorney. And then if you only experience criminal law, you're likely to only know criminal law. And then when an opportunity for something different comes, you can obviously accept it, you can obviously do it, but you are going to be somebody who's going to be needing a lot of teaching, as you would be as a candidate attorney. I hope that answers your question. And yes, and I would say also preferably a small firm. I'm biased because I was in a small firm, but a small firm gives you an opportunity to learn how you would run your own practice should you ever have an opportunity to do that, because it teaches you how the whole practice thing is done. And it teaches you to also, it gives you also an opportunity to decide, do I want a practice for myself or not? So yes, a small firm which does a lot of different things would be my first choice. And then in terms of salary, a medium firm, medium to large firm, in terms of salary and in terms of in terms of workload. Big firms, I've not worked in a big firm, but I have few people that work in big firms, and most of them have the same experience, and most of them after admission never want to be a part of experience because of how much pressure there is, because obviously the firm is big simply because of how much it's pushing paper, and that culture can be quite toxic. So yeah, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm very close to you in terms of I'll work on it next time when I do a video standing up. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.